Hello, you guys. Welcome back to the Cake Radio Show. I am the CakeDive and hope you guys are doing well because today is finally the day. Normani's debut album, Dopamine, is finally available to tune into. And I have been gagging. I've been listening to the album. I've had my first impressions. I'm excited to give you guys my thoughts and also kind of revisit some of the thoughts that I've talked about in my previous videos and, add some clarity. I've read some of y'all's comments and I have thoughts. I always have thoughts. So let's just hop into it. So let's start with my first impressions of Dopamine. Ooh. And at the time of recording, the Normani store just dropped. So you can buy some merch from the Dopamine store if you want. Um, some of this merch kind of cute. Like, I'm gagging a little bit. But that's not the point. The point is, I listened to the album. If you listen to my Dua Lipa review, usually I listen to an album a couple of times before I do a review or give first impressions. Usually just because I want to make sure that I'm like standing on my opinions before I give any sort of major thoughts on that type of music. I do like I usually that's how I approach music. I know with movies I'm usually kind of a one, maybe two watch, and then I'm done. But with music, I gotta revisit it, and I gotta do the things because our relationship with music definitely evolves over time. And I might love an album now and like it a little bit less as time goes on, or it might be the opposite. I might not feel the album at first, and I might love it as time goes on. But with Dopamine, I'm already loving the album. Like this, I remember listening to one of the interviews that, not even one of the interviews, I went back and did a deep dive looking through a lot of the interviews that Normani did throughout, not just this era of Dopamine, but as well as kind of the, where's the album type of era in which we were all asking, are we gonna get an album? And she was kind of being like, oh, like it's coming. And, it's I'm working on it. It's gonna come this year. It's gonna come next year. Stuff like that. Um, and she has been very consistent with how she's approached this album. She has always said that she wanted to take her time with making the album. She said that you don't really get your debut album back. Like your debut is your debut, and she wanted to really make it count. And obviously, we could tell that was the case because we waited 6 years for this. But you can also hear it in the music, and that is something that I really appreciate. Like this is not what I was really scared of for a second. Like I feel like my worst fears would have been that I was hyping up this album, giving y'all my thoughts. Y'all was running up the episodes. The second Normani video episode I did for the podcast is like one of the top 10 most viewed videos on the YouTube channel in general. It's one of the top most streamed episodes of the podcast of all time. Thank y'all for tuning in, first of all. But I was concerned. There was a little bit of concern because, we don't know what happens. Anything can happen with music, and, everybody hypes up the music, but who knows what happens. But there was a little flicker, like everybody had that thought. But I know I still was always consistent because if you listen to my other episodes, you can hear me say consistently that, I've liked the music that she's put out in the past. I've liked the singles, and I'm excited both for Dopamine to come out, for her debut body of work to come out, as well as her follow up. What the follow up's gonna be, and I know I keep beating around the fucking bush. Y'all are like, hey, get into it. Let's talk about your thoughts on the damn album. Easy, but girl, I love the album. The album's really good. I feel like the album is a little bit short. It's 41 minutes long, 13 songs. One of the songs we've already heard before for like years, and that was Wild Side. Then we had the singles, 159 and Candy Paint. All Yours is a promotional single, but we also had, Big Boy Still, Lights On, Take My Time, Insomnia, Grip, Distance, Tantrums with James Blake, Little Secrets, and let me circle back because Insomnia also had Brandy doing background vocals. This is a very consistent, like, what I really liked about the album was that the album was very consistent. Like, from start to finish, the sound was cohesive, the production was there, and even with what really shocked me is like she like again like she's very clearly a perfectionist because she with some of the songs she's gone back and you could tell that like there has been improvements over time. Like with Candy Paint specifically, I remember listening to the single. One I listened to the demo when it leaked, and I also heard the snippet that they played at the fair listening party. But I heard the snippet and I heard the demo, and it sounded very similar to what we got. It pretty much sounded pretty much the same to what we got with the single release, which came out as a surprise release for her birthday. When I heard the version on the album is different. Like, she's added background vocals. The production is very distinct. It's very different. She has taken the song further than where, she did with the surprise release. And it just kind of shows that, Normani's that girl. Like, truly. But, I'll give you my, just brief thoughts on each of the songs. Big Boy is one of my favorite songs on the album. My top 5 off the album right now, at on the first couple of listens, was Big Boy still, Take My Time, Candy Paint, and Distance. Those are my top 5 as of right now. And Big Boy is a really fun track. Like, that is a track that I'm trying to shake some ass to. Like, that is a track to get crunk to. Like, that is a southern hit. Like, one of the things that I also really loved about this album was that it felt very personal. Like, it felt very distinct. It felt very Normani. It was sexy. It was very southern. It had that like spunk, that like hip. It bounced between like it sounded very 2000s 2010s like R&B and pop, and not even pop. Like, it was a very cohesive R&B album, and there's glimmers of pop in there because a lot of Normani fans have a lot of affinity and appreciation for the pop side of Normani, and a lot of that glimmers and peers through here. But this is a very cohesive R&B album, and it all works really well. There's very few skips on this album for sure. And I'm like struggling to figure like I could probably name some of the skips, but again, like, I want to take some time. We're on day 0 of the album coming out. I'm trying to like I'm gonna listen to this album a lot, but I'm also gonna like try to take some steps back and really, breathe with the album, let the album breathe, and come back to y'all with my like cohesive thoughts and do a ranking. Like, first, like, y'all was loving the Normani episodes, first of all, so I want to say thank y'all for tuning in, and I'm excited to really like help push this era. Like, there's not no payola. We ain't on no payola shit. I like just genuinely am excited for. I was really excited for the album. I'm loving the album so far. And I definitely see a couple more episodes coming through. I keep saying videos because we do YouTube videos for the podcast, but we're gonna probably do a couple more episodes. I definitely want to do an album ranking of the album and possibly even do a deep dive into like the era of Dopamine when we see the bigger picture of things, and cover the making of this album a little bit more in detail. So hopefully if you guys enjoy that, let me know, because I would love to do that for you guys. But again, circling back, love these tracks. Big Boy is a hit. Still is one of my faves. It's a hit. All Yours, I low-key could take a leave, but it's a nice track. I don't think it should have been a promotional single. I feel like Take My Time or Insomnia or even like Distance should have been one of the promotional singles. Lights On is a fun track. Like, the girls who were saying that it was kind of giving Janet, and Normani in her interview when she said it was kind of giving Janet, I see it. It really does give in some Janet Jackson tease in there, especially near the end. Take My Time is like a fun little like a pop song for sure. Like, this is a like that's a song that like no shade like in I'm trying to because like low key it low key sounds like one of those songs that you would hear in like a Target, and it's not in like a oh like this is a corny like played out song that like the retail workers gonna try to like you know fall off a cliff over, but like it's a very nostalgic track. Like it feels very fun. Insomnia is a good track. I like the vocals. It grew on me after the first couple lessons. And I remember the first time I listened to it, I low key could take it or leave it. But after re listening to it, I'm kind of growing with it. I really appreciate it. Candy Paint, I love Candy Paint. Like, Candy Paint is like a hit song for me. Like, you could probably ask some of my friends, like, if you looked at what song I've been re listening to lately, it is definitely Candy Paint for sure. Grip is a fun track. I loved Grip. It was a cute little track. 159. I'm a 159 truther. A lot of the girls was making fun of 159 when it came out, and a lot of the girls wasn't like they wasn't clicking with 159. I know a lot of my friends and a lot of people who know me who listen to 159 weren't clicking with 159 for real. One of my like I literally make fun I make fun of one of my friends because they don't like the track. Like I literally will send him I'll send him voice memos of me, singing 159, and he be getting annoyed a little bit. Hey Aiden. Shout out to Aiden. Hey. Back on that vibe again. But no, I'm a 159 truther. Like I think that it is a nice little track. It's very R&B. It is like it fits with the album. It's very cohesive. It definitely gave us a little bit of a bite of what the album was giving. Now, should this have been like lead single? I don't think so. I think it should have been Candy Paint first. But we're here, and I think it's still a good track. Like it really is a hit for me. It went platinum in my house. So I'll say that. Distance, I really love Distance. Like that has been a really strong song for me. Not even really strong. Like I've been really liking it. I think after a couple of listens, like I'm starting to like kind of it's dipping a little bit for me. Like I'm kind of going out of it low key, but like it's still a nice track. I still really appreciate it. Tantrums is a good track. You know, I was it's not like I was about to shade the song. No, like it's a cute track. I know I'm not big on it as like other people are, but like I still can recognize that it's a nice song. Maybe I'll grow with it over time, but again, I want to wait a little bit, grow with the album, see how I'm feeling, and then give you guys this ranking. Little Secrets is a fine track. I'll take it or leave it as of right now. And then Wild Side, I already told you about Wild Side in the last couple of episodes. I love Wild Side. It fits with the album, but I listened to it so long because I've listened to Wild Side so many times because it's been out for 3 years. So it's kind of like I feel like regardless of if I remember somebody in my comment section on one of the episodes talk about how like SZA released Good Days like 3 years after the song came out for SOS, but and I feel like for a lot of people like oh like it's a good song like with SZA with SOS and with Good Days like it's a good song, but like I definitely know some of y'all would be skipping that song when y'all be listening to the album because it's like I've heard this before, and it's kind of like the same thing for me with Dopamine with Wild Side. Like I love the song, don't get me wrong, it's a good song and it fits on the album, but am I really feeling it? Like am I gonna listen to it every time I listen to the album full? I don't think so, but we'll see. But all in all, it's a really good album. It's a consistent album. If you like it's she's really solidified her sound here. Like it is as I talked about in my previous episodes, like she is pursuing that like R&B pop with a little bit of pop in there. And if the girls love it, they love it. The girls don't, some of y'all don't, and y'all be cutting up, and we gonna dig into that a little bit because y'all just not gonna click with it. Like I feel, and I also feel like if you weren't clicking with the R&B songs, like just in general, like if you wasn't feeling Wild Side, if you wasn't feeling Waves, if you weren't feeling 159, you're probably not gonna enjoy this album. Like, I'm just gonna be honest, because I kind of briefly discussed that in one of my previous episodes. Like, a lot, like, the girls who like are not interested in the R&B side of Normani will be very disappointed, because this is an R&B album for the most of the part of the album. Like, this is, a cohesive body of work that is largely R&B. It's very consistent. It's very strong. You aren't getting a motivation out of this album. If you kind of had to push for a motivation, the only sort of song that's similar to the motivation that you could get off this album is Candy Paint. And even then, it's like, that's not even like motivation, because it's better that it washes motivation. I'm gonna be honest. But a lot of people seem to really be hinging on motivation and like that pop side of Normani that we got very briefly for some reason, which very much confuses me, because one, it's not her biggest hit. Y'all talk like this is her biggest hit. It's not her biggest hit, actually. Um, you like y'all push it like it's like we've consistently gotten pop for her from her beyond motivation and what she did with Fifth Harmony. And she's also said in her interviews and stuff like that she really isn't a fan of motivation. Like, she's kind of said now, like, she's kind of grown a little bit with it now. Like, she's kind of says like, oh, like, it's mid, or like she kind of likes it now more than she used to. But I remember watching one of her interviews, especially the most recent interview she did with Billboard, and she was talking about how she was not happy when she got the song, because she wanted more creative, control and creative autonomy when she left Fifth Harmony, because they as a group did not get much creative control on what they wanted to do with their music until the final album that they did together, according to her. So when they came to her and was like, oh, like, let's do Motivation, like, you should do this as your single, like, she definitely wasn't feeling it, because that wasn't really her. She made it her own with the music videos and the VMA performances and stuff like that, but if an artist tells you what they don't want to do, believe it. Like, you shouldn't force an artist to conform to a genre that you specifically enjoy and you specifically cater to, because at that point you're gonna get music that's disingenuous, or you're just not gonna be happy at all. Like, some of y'all just don't be pleased, because we could talk about some of the other R&B pop girls, like Chloe, one of the newer girls. She and I did an episode on her too. Like, y'all cut up for her because she wants to do R&B, and now she's doing pop. She's doing pop again. She did Boy Bye, and some of the new singles off her new album, some of the new snippets off her album, Trouble in Paradise, give pop. But are y'all gonna stream it after dragging her for doing R&B and y'all didn't support In Pieces? I ask you. We'll wait and see. But and then some of y'all be making, like, I'll also be honest, some of the conversation be colorist. Like, some of y'all be colorist with how y'all handle Normani and how y'all handle Chloe and some of these new girls. Like, there's a hint of colorism in this, because y'all don't be pleased either. Like, I was seeing a lot of the comments regarding her rollout, and when I was questioning the rollout. And for me, my biggest question regarding the rollout was in regards to the music. Like, there was a delay with the music video. There's been delays with both the music videos for 159 and Candy Paint. We know that we're getting music videos for both of those, so they are lead singles. And then but outside of that, she's been fairly strong with how she's been rolling out this album. She's done interviews. She did magazine interviews with Days. She did magazine interviews with What We Wear, Who What Wear. She did videos with Who What Wear. She did videos with Cosmo. She did the interview with Billboard. She had her listening party, and people were at the listening party. People were getting crunk at the listening party, and it was given to things. Like, she was doing a lot of things that most people would do with a rollout. The only only things that she's really struggled with this rollout was some of the releases with the music, the delay in the music videos, and then just a lack of performances. But I'm not questioning that she won't do performances, because she said, like, she's a performance artist. She's talked about how she makes a lot of these songs for performances. She's talked about how she's going to go on tour soon with this album. She very clearly loves music as much as people try questioning her. But the other issue is like she just isn't on social media, and I see a lot of people, especially in the comments of my previous episodes, talking about how y'all wish that she did social media more social media, content. But for me, what I've noticed is like she also said this in her interviews, like she has a rough relationship with social media because of the fact that people were being racist to her in the Fifth Harmony era. So it's kind of hard to really get her to do something that she's not comfortable doing. She tries doing it. She's done some of the lives and stuff of the posts, and she still posts and stuff every now and then. But like, I don't believe she'll ever be like close and intimate like other artists will be, because that's just not the relationship she has, and that's okay to me. And then it's like, so like, and even then, like, she was still doing social media posts. Like, it wasn't a lot in volume, but she was still promoting the songs, and she did her Instagram posts, social media, like the music platforms and stuff were pushing the songs too, like they were doing what they need to do. She did the listening party again. Like, the listening party looked hot. Like, I saw them clips and I was mad as hell that I couldn't go, because I'm like, whoa, like, this is a gag, honey. Like, it looked cute. Like, they was up in, like, it looked like they was up in the parking lot, but like, I can't be mad because it looked like everybody was up in there. I saw them lines. Normani looked good, and like, they was saying that like they was doing stuff for free. Like, they had tattoos, free drinks. They had like T-shirts and stuff they was giving out. You had photo ops. Like, it looked. They had the meet and greet with Normani. Like, it looked really good. Like, she looked really happy too. I think that was one of the things that I also really liked. It looked like she, like, this is a moment 6 years in the making. So like, she looked really proud and really like floored that people were still like there to support her. I know a lot of people were trying to like question if like if she waited too long, but I think people, like, it's been very clear that people have been waiting, and looking at the numbers, like, I'm seeing stuff rolling from iTunes and stuff like that. You know, trying not to pay. Again not trying to pay attention to the charts too much, because it matters more about the music and not the charts. And I've always said I'm more of an artist girly, not a charts girly. I only bring up the charts when y'all bring up the charts. But so far, people have been loving the album. Like, I've heard a lot of good things about the album. People have been really liking it, and I've really been enjoying it. Um, and yeah, like, the rollout, like, it might have been a little bit messy, but I think that's gonna catch up soon. Like, we know that we're gonna get 159 music video. We know we're gonna get the Candy Paint music video. We're probably gonna get some more music videos too if the album continues to kind of keep pushing and keep being discussed. Like, I think people, again, like, it's Normani's time. It's here, and people are giving her flowers. She deserves it. This is a good album, and I'm gonna keep listening to it. I will talk to you guys later and give you guys, my ranked thoughts on the album, ranking tracks on the podcast, and that's it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Cake Radio Show. Again, I'm the CakeDive, and I hope you guys enjoyed my thoughts on Dopamine. If you haven't listened to Dopamine, be sure to stream Dopamine on your favorite streaming platforms now. And if you love the podcast, be sure to support. Like, subscribe to the YouTube channel and get episodes first before anybody else at Cake Radio Show on YouTube. Be sure to drop a like, drop a comment. Let me know what you thought about the album. Let me know what you thought about the listening party and in this rollout. And let me, also, if you're listening to this on your favorite podcast listening platform, whether it's, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, I love y'all so much. Thank you guys for supporting me, and I hope you guys subscribe to the podcast, follow it for more, and give the show a good rating because it helps. And that has been all from me. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I hope you guys are loving the album as much as I do, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.